Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Raising Spirits with Nolan Woods. And if this is your first time with us, it's great to see you. Welcome. So today we just got something super quick, super easy to talk about. Today I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a breakdown on how to properly stir and shake your cocktails for maximum efficiency, maximum emulsification. Super simple, super easy, but it's something that a lot of people I feel like don't always get right. But again, not a super big deal, but enough that I was like, let's address it quickly and move on. So that's what we're talking about today, guys. Shakers and how to mix, really. So let's get into it. Okay, you guys, so the first thing I'm briefly going to talk to you guys about is just your standard bar spoons. They're very readily available. They're not too expensive, so I highly recommend if you're looking to build up your home bar and really take your home mixing skills to the next level, I highly recommend you get some bar spoons. Now, the reason these are important for mixing is because they're not just about sticking the spoon into your glass and going like this. Because if that was the case, you could buy any teaspoon, even use chopsticks. I've used chopsticks as my mixing spoons before. But what's nice about real bar spoons is you have the length, so you can get to the bottom of larger mixing glasses and larger shakers if you need to. But they're also good for cracking ice. Now, this little kind of weighted thing at the back end here, that's what you're supposed to use to crack your ice. But it's a very flat surface little weight, and it actually doesn't break ice very well. It's actually better to use the actual back part of the spoon here because it comes to a finer point. It's not sharp, obviously, because it's a spoon, but it comes to this finer point. And when you hit the ice with that spot just right, it causes just the right amount of pressure to the ice to make it fracture without having to just sit there whacking the thing and having ice bits fling off all over the place, more than is necessary anyways. And another thing with mixing with a bar spoon, you have this spiral. Now, that's not just as a design to look cool. The spiral has a purpose. So when you're mixing your drink, while at the same time you're moving the spoon like so, you're also supposed to be spinning the spoon like this. So while you're mixing, the spoon's also spiraling like that. So you have, it's kind of like a mixing bowl with baking. When you have all the flour and all the ingredients in there, and you see the mixer, you turn on the mixer, and it's doing this, but the mixing piece is also spinning. So that's the whole point of the spiral, is you can do this at the same time as you are mixing, and then you get that kind of double sort of mixing, blending technique going. Takes a little bit of practice. I'm not very good at it, but it'll maximize the mixing and the emulsification process of your cocktail. So bar spoons, if you're looking to build up your home bar, super important and a really good addition to your accessories and everything, really. Another thing for the spiral as well is you can use it and actually pour the liquid on the spiral and let it kind of trickle down the spoon and into your drink. And that's for when certain liquids are different densities than others, and you don't want the liquid just splashing into your glass or into your cup or whatever it is. So yeah, spiral has multiple purposes. It's great for cracking ice. It's got the length, which is nice, and you don't have to. It's a one and done product, right? For any mixing type tasks. Whereas with a teaspoon, yeah, you can stir with it, but you don't have the spiral, you don't have the length. And I guess you could crack ice with a teaspoon just as easily, but it's nice to have the longer spoon as well, because when I'm cracking ice, I'll hold it at the bottom here, and then I have a little bit more leverage. So bar spoons, really good option. Really, really good thing to have for your home bar, guys. Bar spoons. And next up, you guys, we're just going to take a few minutes to talk about shakers. I have two styles of shaker in my home bar. This guy and this guy. So this is your standard Boston style shaker, and this is my favorite style shaker. I think it's the best shaker the best style of shaker you can get. This shaker is called the cobbler style shaker. I'm not as much of a fan of these ones. These ones often come with like one and done mixology kits that have little bits of everything. You know, you've probably seen those on the internet. They come with a shaker, a strainer, a bar spoon, a waiter's friend, pair of tongs, that kind of thing. I have a set myself, but over the years I've just kind of pieced together my mixology stuff and bought, you know, better quality things like this Boston shaker, for example. There's also the French shaker. I don't have that one to show you. You guys could Google that if you really want to find out what it is. But I would recommend the Boston shaker, and the reason why is because you have more space with the Boston shaker. So when you put it together, quite a big difference in how much open space you have in the Boston shaker. And the reason you want that space is because when you mix, you want the liquid inside to do a full 360-degree rotation. So it's just splashing back and forth and blending with the ice you have in there. I'm sure there's some mixologists out there and some pro bartenders that say, you know, this is the gospel truth on how exactly you're supposed to shake a shaker. I don't know which of them are telling the truth. I don't know if there is a super specific technique to how I'll go about shaking a shaker. But if you watch me when I mix drinks, when I'm shaking, basically what I'm trying to do is, like I said, I'm trying to get the vodka or the whiskey or whatever's inside to do a full 360-degree rotation, as well as I'm moving the shaker up and down. So it's a combination of back and forth and up and down. So that's how you're going to get that maximum emulsification, maximum mixing, and get your drink to blend up just exactly how you like it, depending on, you know, how you like your drinks. But if you're shaking them, that's how you want to do it. Making sure you're getting that full rotation, and you want to hear that ice. You want to feel the ice banging from one end of the shaker to the other. And, you know, just make sure you got a good seal. But I definitely would recommend a Boston shaker because you have more space. You can make a bigger drink. You can make more drinks for multiple people with a Boston shaker. Whereas this guy, you're basically limited to the little water there. You're basically limited to the size of the one shaker, right? Whereas with this guy, you got a little bit more space to work with. A little bit more space because you got the two halves. Just, yeah, like I said, just got to make sure you got a good seal, and then back and forth, and up and down at the same time. And you'll get that full rotation and maximize your mixing potential. But that's really all I wanted to talk to you guys about today, guys, is just how to properly mix your drinks and the importance of having a shaker and a bar spoon on hand. Maybe the bar spoon a little bit less important because, again, you can get away with using teaspoons and chopsticks or whatever. But if you're looking to build your home bar up, I highly recommend a bar spoon and definitely a shaker. And it could be either the Boston shaker, the cobbler, or the French, which I do not have. But if I could only pick one, I would go with the Boston shaker myself, just because of its size and that extra space you have inside the cups that will allow you to get more rotation and more movement of the liquid inside the shaker. So I recommend the Boston, but at the end of the day, pick whichever one you like the best and feels the best for you. And there you go, everyone. Just a little quick tutorial on how to properly stir and mix your cocktails, and how it's made a lot easier if you have the right equipment. And, you know, for a few bucks, you can get a really good quality shaker and a few bar spoons, and then that's going to take your bar and your mixology knowledge just, you know, to the next level, and you'll have the tools readily available for you to make pretty much whatever you want. I try not to make these kinds of videos too much where I'm not actually mixing drinks for you guys and I'm just talking about stuff. But every once in a while, I like to throw one of these out there just to give you guys an idea of what sort of stuff I have in my bar kit and around my area here, so that, you know, you guys can get a sense of how to set up your bars a little bit better, and maybe, you know, for entertaining your guests, or whether it's just for yourself, be able to crank out really good drinks at a much easier rate. And having bar spoons and a good shaker are a really good way to help you do that. But that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I really enjoyed talking about all this stuff with you guys today. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, all that usual bull crap, you know, and make sure you're always drinking responsibly out there, guys. Thanks for watching. Take care.